camp?
Good, very, very good. We've trained very hard, and you know, we're more than ready, more than ever.
Why'd you take this fight? This guy's a tough cookie.
Why did I box? You know, I box because I'm a fighter. I fight anybody who. See, the thing is, I would want to fight anybody out there. I say I want to fight. It's more of the fact that the guy is behind it, willing to make the fight happen. So for me, I'm here. I'm willing to fight anybody. Why did I take this fight? Because it's a very exciting fight, and I'm ready for it.
Do you think you have anything left to prove to your fans?
No, you know, I've given everything that I got for my fans. I've given more than what I expected myself to be. I mean, you know, I thought I was going to be a champion, and I thought that I was just going to quit right there and then. You know, when I became world champion, but then I got multiple titles after that, multiple divisions, and I did more than I could ever dream of. But in terms of just reaching more, I mean, I'm a human being, and inside a human being's heart is always that desire to go higher, and that's where I'm at. It's just to go higher beyond what I am now.
What makes him a risky fight? What do you see in his style?
Oh, he's a very powerful puncher. I mean, anybody can see that, you know. And that's what we're just looking out for is his power. I mean, I have the same thing.
Nonito, he said he's gonna knock you out in 5 rounds. What do you think about that?
Well, that's his confidence. That's good. But you know, like I was saying to everybody, my story and my words that will be written will be inside that ring.
Have you had tougher opponents, do you feel like, in the past?
I've had. I mean, the thing is, this guy has never really experienced in terms of fighting the quality fights, so he can say whatever he wants. I mean, you know, but a confident fighter is a very dangerous fighter, and that's what we're just, you know, not looking past. But in terms of opposition, there's been tough fights, you know, in the level that I am now compared to the level. It may not be in the level that that's his level now, but the time that I was in the lower level against a guy at my level, it was a tougher fight. So now that I'm at this level, I expect my opponent to be at this level. And if he's at that level, you know, we'll see. That's why inside that ring, everything will be said and done.
What do you think is the toughest test of your career up to this point?
I guess just motivating myself, and just being hungry again. You know, that's just pretty much it. I mean, I know that I have the talent, I know that I have the speed, I know that I have the power, I know I have the intelligence. It's just more of the motivation aspect to really get to it, and I'm motivated for this fight.
Why has it been difficult finding motivation for yourself?
Well, like I said, going back, you know, I've accomplished. When a boy accomplishes his dream, he looks for another dream. And that's where I'm at. You know, I was kind of lost in terms of, man, I'm the fighter of the year. Where am I going after this? And then when I lost, then I realized that, hey, I still want to be in this game. You know, I don't want to just walk away. And that's why now I'm kind of recreating that mentality, that hunger, that motivation. And this is where I want to be, fighting guys like Walter.
So you had thoughts of stepping away?
Oh yeah, way before, after 2012, and got the award. I even told my guys this. You know, I was actually asked it to myself after ours. I said, you know what? I think this is good for me. But then I got an offer with Rigondeaux, and I said, you know what? Let's do this. And when I lost, I thought I was gonna really feel like, this is it for me. Because before the fight, I told myself, maybe if I lose this fight, I'm done. But then part of me was like, oh, hell no. Hell no. No one ever is going to beat me again. That's the mentality that I have now, and I think that's part of the motivation that I have in my heart.
So you're a challenger. He says that he has the same on you in terms of speed and power, but he's going to be the smarter man. What do you say to that?
I don't know about the smarter man. You know, I don't know about the smarter man. I mean, I've always used my head. I've always been that type of person. I mean, he can be, you know, like I said, it's his experience that make him lack that mentality. And you know, he can be smart, he can be strong, he can be fast, but he's gonna find out what's being smart and what's being fast when he's up against me inside that ring.
So do you think he's just saying something just to kind of prop himself up, or like wolf tickets, or?
No, because when a fighter is confident in themselves, they will say that they will knock me out. They will say that they're faster than me. They will say they're stronger than me. But because they train hard and because they're prepared for anything. And I commend that because I'm ready for that as well.
So what do you think your edge is going to be on that?
Definitely experience and definitely speed.
You guys fought. You guys fought on the last card. What are you said you need that motivation. He called you out on various media outlets. Does that motivate you? Is that your extra motivation? That you look for the fight and he's calling you out?
Staying in this position and bringing myself higher from here by beating this guy is my motivation.
What can we expect from the Filipino Flash on the night of the fight?
That's a surprise. You guys just gotta watch. Like I said, all the stories will be told, all the words will be said with my fist inside that ring.
For years, you look happy.
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, this is the first time that I really trained very, very hard. Without feeling that I have the biggest advantage. This time I put myself in the underdog position and in that mentality, and I trained hard, very, very hard.
Do you think you're the underdog? I mean, Walters is talented, but I don't know if he's achieved the level.
No, it's just the mentality that I put in my head. Because that's how I can motivate myself to train hard. So that I'll be hungry again.
What do you think of Walters? 24-0, 20 knockouts?
Records don't mean shit to me. There's gonna be guys out there with like 50-0 or 50 knockouts. I don't care. I'll fight them. It's just a matter of who we face. He's facing me, no one else. And that makes a big difference.
I watched you and your son in the ring seconds ago. It looks like he's already boxing and kicking.
Dude, I don't know where he gets that, man. I don't know where he gets that. He watches his mom kick. He watches me box, I guess. But no one taught him how to do it. He just starts punching. If he sees a pillow on the floor, he just starts punching it and stuff like that. So he's definitely on it, man. He's definitely something. He's definitely a talented kid.
The StubHub Center is sold out, partially because you're on the card. Gennady Golovkin, Ruggiero. What do you think about? There's not one seat available.
It's good, man. It's amazing. That's what boxing needs. Good fights, knockout fights, and something that entices the people. And I'm there. So Robert's a big part of the team. He's also another eye for me, and he's always going to be in my team.
Is there a reason why you don't go to Oxnard a little bit more? Do you prefer to stay back in your home, or what is the reason why you choose not to go?
It's just tough for me, to go there, being away from my family and stuff like that.
Talking about Nicholas Walters, he was here earlier, very confident guy. What are your overall thoughts on him? Have you been able to see any footage on him?
Not much footage. I'm ready for anything. I prepared myself for whatever situation that's given to me, and he's a good fighter. You don't become a world champion by being a weak fighter.
He has a lot of power. That's what he's known for. Do you approach a fight differently with a guy that has that kind of power?
Well, does he approach me differently because I have the same power, or yet more power? That's the question. I go out there and just do my thing. I'm confident in my power. He's confident in his power. It's definitely an explosion.
When you see this fight, Nonito, I asked him. He said he doesn't see this fight going to 12 rounds. Do you have that same sentiment?
That's true. 12 rounds is a long round. I'd rather finish it as early as possible.
Do you feel you have to prove anything in this fight, Nonito? You had been back on the win since the Rigondeaux fight, but do you feel you need to prove anything in this fight, considering it's against another champion?
No. I've gone beyond what I've accomplished in boxing, and there's nothing to prove. I'm just here to win. That's pretty much it, and to win every fight from this point on.
You had a lot of success. Even Floyd Mayweather now has said he's kind of a little bored, a little tired, not as passionate about the sport. Have you kind of run into the same problem? And if you have, how have you dealt with it?
I lost. That's what happened. But then the fire is back, and it's just a reminder that things happen for a reason, and now I'm here. Definitely the motivation is one key to winning fights.
Do you feel you're the same fighter, Nonito? I mean, a lot of people might, say, oh, maybe Nonito's slowing down, but how do you feel? You yourself know more than anybody. Do you still feel the same fighter as before?
I don't think I'm the same fighter as before. I'm creating to be a different fighter, but I know that I'm more. I'm getting better. I'm just trying to recollect the speed, the power, the intelligence that I once had, that I once possessed, that I once was proud to bring inside the ring. After a couple of years, I started losing it and just went with one style, which is to knock people's head out and to just counter. This time we're bringing it back, being a technical fighter.
Some writers, some critics have said that they may think Walters may pull out the upset. How do you take that, and does that motivate you, knowing people are, saying that?
I don't even know. I haven't read any reports. I haven't done any interview except this time, this week, and I care not to really listen to whatever critics has to say. They can all say what they want. You know, they can all say, like same with Walter, they can say what they want. And until we get into that ring, that's where the story will be told.
Sold out crowd, probably the most it had bleachers in it. How does it feel? I know you fought there before, but how is it going to feel with all those fans there? Does it change anything for you? Makes you more excited knowing you're going into an arena like that?
You know, I'm happy to hear that, you know, and then I'm going to do the best that I can, and when it gets tough, I know that I can help that motivate me to push harder.
Do you still, two more questions, do you still feel you're the best fighter in the division, Nonito, or do you feel you need to start proving it Saturday night again? You know, how do you feel?
I never really considered anything, you know, it's the people that name me for who I am and what they see in me. I've always been just Nonito Donaire, you know, whatever people say, I'm pound for pound, whatever say, one of the best or washed up. That's didn't come from me.
And what do you want to tell your fans? What can we expect on Saturday night, Nonito?
Just the best of what I can do, you know, and I want to thank them for all the support. But mainly, there's going to be a story that's going to be told inside that ring, and whatever it may be, you know, I'm going to do the best that I can.